just a small amount of money each year in that IRA, and it continues to grow for her lifetime. They took that away in the Secure Act. You can only do that for 10 years now. So when you die, your granddaughter can only get 10 years and bigger payments, which are more taxes. So that's what the government wants to make taxes. Again, the stretch IRA is not what it used to be. But again, there's some other ways out there to help you on taxation. So some life insurance policies sometimes make more sense because you can leave a tax-free death benefit to your next of kin, using your money in your IRA to arbitrage into the life insurance policy to turn it back into tax-free. So there's a lot of creative ways we can put a plan together that makes sense. And that's why we offer a no-cost consultation. By the way, you got the bookmark in the book has a golden ticket.
Yes.
But you can also call anytime you see us on this video. We've got the CoachPete.com, where you can call the number you see right on the screen to request a consultation with my team to put a total tax and retirement plan together for yourself and your family.
Folks, do it right now. Call that number you see. There is so much power that goes into Coach Pete's total retirement income plan. Start yours today and stay tuned. Chapter 2 is coming right around the corner.
Hey, I'm Coach Pete D'Arruda, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
Social Security is one of the backbones of retirement planning and relied upon by millions of Americans every month. So why do we keep hearing that Social Security is in trouble? From its inception, Social Security helped establish the very idea of widespread retirement in the U.S. and allowed Americans to enjoy their golden years without fear of slipping into poverty. What are people saying now about the state of Social Security?
It's funny when we talk about Social Security, depending on who you listen to, it's either going out of business tomorrow or it's going to be here forever. I'm more of an in-between kind of person. Now, some of the numbers say 2034, it's going to go bankrupt or whatever. That's all for worry's sake. Congress is never going to let that go down. I mean, no one will vote for a congressman again if they let Social Security go away. So there's always going to be a stopgap kind of measure. My opinion is to make Social Security more of a means-based system. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's mean to anybody who has money. It says if you already have money, you're not going to get any Social Security or you get a reduced amount. To me, I don't think that's fair. Many of us, or most of us watching this video, have put money into that system 30 or 40 years, and now you're telling me I can't get any of that money back? It's not going to make people happy. But in order for it to survive, they're going to have to do something. Well, number one, Congress needs to stop reaching into the Social Security Trust Fund and using it for things other than Social Security. And some people watching may not like this, but anyone who's never put money into the Social Security Administration or they're not a U.S. citizen does not deserve a penny of the Social Security I put aside.
I know that these changes can be scary to talk about, but let's get it out of the way. What are some measures you can take to prepare if Social Security went away or was minimized?
The average person thinks that we can control the safety and security and longevity of the Social Security system. To be truthful, we have no control over that. It's up to Congress to do what they're supposed to do and not minimize our benefit that we were depending on. A lot of people are depending on that for a majority of their core account in retirement. The core is the money that can't go away. It's always there producing income. Another part of the core is we use lifetime income annuities for that too, to give that certainty, knowing that you're going to have that peace of mind, you're going to have the check every single month for the rest of your life in retirement. I think there's plenty of places that our government blows money on, billions of dollars a year, that could cancel and put that money into Social Security. So Social Security is never, in my opinion, never going away. But don't depend on it for all your retirement income.
And now we are entering our Social Security Viability Lightning Round. I'll give Coach some potential solutions for Social Security viability, and he'll shoot back with his thoughts. First up, raising the retirement age.
65 is what we always heard. Now it's 67 for a lot of people, 68, 69. And so that way, that reduces the amount of burden on the Social Security Administration to pay because you can't get it until a certain age. Now, you can still get it now at 62, And that's still available, so maybe they'll take that away. I don't think they should, but they're floating every single idea out there. Raising the retirement age, that's what it would mean. Maybe instead of 62 to 70, it'll go 65 to 73, that kind of thing. So we're going to see some changes, which I'm in favor of as long as they can guarantee that they're not going to tamper with anyone's Social Security income in the future.
Next, what if we raised the payroll tax?
This doesn't make anyone happy. Raising the payroll tax, they do that every single year, it seems like. There used to be one number coming out for Social Security and Medicare. Then they separated it, and you see the Medicare number keeps growing, their tax price. They're going to keep increasing that, and they probably will. They'll increase your payroll tax. You're going to pay a lot more money to get a whole lot less benefit.
All right, now break down means testing.
Means testing is just a way for them to reduce or eliminate payment to people that they claim can afford retirement without the Social Security. Is it fair? Heck no, it's not fair. You put that money away, you deserve it back.
What if Social Security were put into higher yielding assets?
This has been floated for years. The problem is the quote unquote higher yielding assets. To get a better return, what do you usually have to do? You usually have to sacrifice safety. So if you have promised or they're trying to get a higher rate of return, they could end up with a lower or a negative rate of return on that. So conservative money management for your Social Security trust fund account, again, that's part of your core money in retirement. They shouldn't tamper with it. They should not take more risk. I've heard other rumors where they wanted you to give you the ability to invest your own money on yourself. They'll never do that because government likes to control that money too much.
And what if we had some sort of universal basic income?
This one basically is communism. It's basically saying everyone's going to make the same amount of money and you can't get more than that. I don't agree with that one at all.
We've talked about a lot of what-if scenarios, and it can be nerve-wracking. What can someone do today to secure their retirement?
The most important thing, Congress is going to be battling every single day of our lives, back and forth, blaming each other. The money world's going to go up, down, all around every day. The market will be up, the market will be down. Kramer will be going wild on TV. The secret to you is don't live outside your means. Know what your spending is going to be needed, what kind of money you're going to need in retirement. Make sure you have enough money put aside in your core account that's going to give you a lifetime income. Most people I talk to don't have any idea about what an income plan is and how it can give them lifetime confidence because you get lifetime income. So all the things together, I don't agree with trying to minimize your expenses. I'd rather have you try to make more money or have a better stream of income so you can do all the things you want to do in retirement. We work 30 or 40 years. We put aside money 30 or 40 years for a vacation, a lifetime vacation called retirement. It's also 20, 30, even 40 years of unemployment, otherwise known as retirement. So we need to have our own unemployment insurance, which is a true retirement income plan. We cover that in our 22-step total retirement plan.
That's right, folks. You need a retirement plan that can stay afloat no matter what happens in the economy, in politics, or anything else. We want to help you put together a plan. Coach Pete and the team at Capital Financial can help you navigate the financial world to get you where you want to be in retirement. Take advantage of the no-cost, no-obligation financial review to understand the ins and outs of your retirement plan. A customized plan based on your wants and needs. Contact us today. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more retirement help.
Here we are, the big book on retirement, chapter 1. It's all about picking the right coach. I'm Thomas Lipscomb here alongside the coach, Coach Pete D'Arruda, the author of this great book that hopefully you're getting into. I did want to bring this up too, since we're at the beginning of this walkthrough. Maybe you're having a hard time getting through the book. You don't have enough time to sit down and read.
It's a big book, so it might be intimidating, but we did make the print pretty big, so people like me who usually need reading glasses don't even need reading glasses.
There you go. And for people like me who drive a little bit, the audio book is available. So if you want to head over to CoachPete.com, grab that audio book. It's another great way to listen through the content. But let's talk about picking the right coach. This is chapter 1, so a little bit important, I would imagine.
Well, you watch some sports on TV every now and then. You hear about these teams, and sometimes the teams aren't that good, so they get rid of the coach.
Yeah.
And they hire a new coach, and the same players start playing a lot better.
Interesting how that works.
So having a good coach in the financial world can put you in control of your retirement. That's what we're talking about. So if you're not really sure if you're on the right track, or your current advisor isn't giving you what you think the attention you deserve, or putting you in the place you deserve to be in, then get a second opinion. Maybe get a new coach, but have a review. have your current plan put against what's currently out there and see if it matches up.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do a lot of. We do game planning. We say, well, here's where you are right now, but if you change one or two things, you could be way up here without it costing you any money, just by moving things in the right places. So again, it's about we've all put those puzzles together before where you dump them out thousands of pieces, but some people can put them together really good and other people can't. I had a dream where I actually did the Rubik's Cube.
Oh, nice.
I did. I dreamed last night. It's just coming to me now. You remember your dreams?
Yeah, sure.
No idea what that means. If you're a dream analyst, maybe you can tell me what it meant when I actually solved the Rubik's Cube. And I had the little pattern in my head and all that.
Yeah.
And I woke up and, I'll never be able to do it. But both my brothers could do the Rubik's Cube. I could never do it. But retirement doesn't have to be a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is, but if you get someone who understands it, they can align it just right for you. So it's about making sure that your goals and aspirations and ambitions match up to what your plan is going to do for you in the future.
There you go. Important points to be looking at, and I think this is why we like to start off that review process with a second opinion. Yeah. This is an important time in people's lives. It is similar to I think a doctor's visit where you find out something big, a pregnancy or something. You may want a second opinion if there's a disease in play, just to make sure, am I following the right procedure and protocol?
Let's say you don't feel that good. You go to your doctor, he says everything's fine. Maybe you want to go see another doctor and make sure everything really is fine.
Exactly.
Same thing in the financial world. And it shouldn't be confrontational. It should just be putting you in the right place and doing the right thing for you. Maybe the current advisor is not specializing in taking you all the way through retirement. Maybe they did a good job of building your accounts, but now we need to preserve it and you have lifetime income we can never outlive on it. Yes. We specialize in that. That's why we call it the Big Book on Retirement.
There you go. So folks, get your second opinion. Reach out to Coach Pete and the team. As we go through these chapters, there are going to be questions that come up. So go ahead and connect with the fiduciary team so that we can begin walking through this process, and we will see you in Chapter 2.
You yourself have made yourself successful because I don't know if you want to share with the folks watching, but you have a lot of annuities yourself and you set those up for streams of income. How many incomes do you have?
Yeah, I have 13 annuities. Most of them are Roth IRAs.
Yep.
I don't sell annuities, I buy them. Right? And I've got some that start at age 60, some that start at age 62, some that start at age 65. Most of them start whenever I want. And so I'm guaranteed to have increasing tax-free income for the rest of my life. And that's what I encourage people to do, because we're approaching 40 trillion in debt. I mean, our interest on our debt is more than the defense budget for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force. It's unbelievable. And so I think getting yourself in a position to get as much tax-free income is important, and the multiple streams is very important.
We call that a laddering strategy, and anyone who's watching can get one. Like, if you don't have a laddering strategy, if you don't have income, you really need it. Get an analysis, get a free review, get an x-ray of your portfolio. CoachPete.com is people go there, CoachPete.com. You can find out a lot of education on your own, and then if you're interested in finding out more advanced planning, let us know.
Yeah, and it's free.
This big game, every move counts. Plan wisely to win the match. Sidestep the unexpected and charge towards your goal. Navigate through the challenges. Retirement is your end zone, and the touchdown is within reach. A successful retirement is your championship. Let Coach Pete design your customized income game plan today.
All right, I'm not sure what kind of strategy this is, but I just saw this and I have to ask you about it. What does cash dragging into mutual funds mean?
Cash dragging is just basically, I picture using your mouse and you drag it from mutual cash over to the mutual fund.
Okay.
And put it in there. It's just dollar cost averaging into mutual funds.
Okay.
So instead of putting all the money you have at one time into a mutual fund, you take that money, divide it in 12 little packets, and once a month you put in 1/12 into the mutual fund. Why do you do that? Because the mutual funds go up and down in price. You do what's called dollar cost averaging, which equals out the curves. In other words, smooths out the curves, so you're not buying too high or too low. You're in the middle all the time.
See, that's why this is what my Ryan would say at this point. Just handle it, Coach. You just handle it. I don't understand any of this. That's why you have to call Coach.
Well, there's 22 steps in our total retirement plan. That's one of them. But call now. We'll do it for you at no cost or obligation. All 22 steps to get you on the right path.
Welcome back in. We've got a series going called Women and Money, and luckily we have some women here, in addition to Coach Pete. Where do you think, or when is the most important time for women to start paying attention to money or to start saving money, Coach?
Well, at any time, but it's one thing. A lot of us say starts in college or right out of college, but that's not even anywhere close on the priority list, is it?
No,
Not close at all.
I know we read these articles and they say, "Dude, just start to have $50 a month." Well, you're not even thinking about that back then.
No, because that's nails,
I actually bought. I saw in the USA Today newspaper back in the. Remember the newspapers?
Sure.
Back in the day, they had the. I always looked at the want ad stuff, and back there, or the classified ads they call them. There was an ad back there, and it was only ran one day, and I just happened to be traveling. Every time I traveled, I got a USA Today. That was the funnest thing to get when you're traveling, before the cell phones.
Yes.
So it's full color, all that. But a little ad, it said, invest in the IPO like the big guys, but right here. So if you could get 33 shares of Boston Beer Company for 10 cents a share, or $10 a share. So it's $330. I wrote a check. You could only get 33 shares, but that. It's $10 a share. It ended up going to like $400 a share.
Oh, wow.
And it was paying all sorts of dividends and everything.
Nice.
So it turned out a good thing. So, and then I did some dividend reinvestment programs. So if you're just starting out and you're saying, Coach, I want to start saving somewhere. Well, number one, 401k at your work if you want. A lot of times they offer the Roth option. If you're young, do the Roth option. You don't get a tax write-off, but it builds tax-free forever.
You bet.
You come out so much further ahead if you have 20 years or longer to hold that money in a Roth than the regular one. Now, a lot of people like that immediate tax deduction, so they put money in the regular 401k. They get to write off a little bit of the money they put into the 401k. The problem is all that money's going to be taxable down the road, including the growth.
Yes.
So would you rather have growth with no tax or growth with tax? Of course.
Definitely no tax.
And so, but save somewhere. I did dividend reinvestment programs. I still do. There's a good mutual fund or ETF. Vanguard has VOO, which is the S&P 500. These are good places to start. And they can take a little money every month and dollar cost average in, and it's a good way to start. But I really think by the age of 40, you need to start thinking about saving some money. Because now you still have 25 years
Serious
to
How
65.
do you deal with people that are coming out with these massive amounts of student loan debt?
Yeah. Well, you got to treat it like another payment, like a mortgage payment. And so depending on what the interest rate is, now if you have a high interest rate, you want to pay that off quick. Because if you have a 10, 11, 12, 13% credit card or student loan interest rate, maybe credit cards up to 29%, every dollar you pay into that to pay it down, you basically make 29% because you're not having to pay it anymore. So if it's 29% interest and you're paying it down quick, you're making 29% by not having to pay that interest anymore. So you don't want to start saving until you get those big bills paid. But if you have a home loan, maybe it's 4%, 5% interest, just treat it as a mortgage. Like it's you don't need to pay it off. But save some money on your own. So pay your house off, maybe put a little extra towards principal. I don't know, a lot of people don't realize this, but if you have a 30-year mortgage and you decide to pay one extra mortgage payment a year,
You bet.
you can
Yes.
divide it by 12. You take your payment, divide it by 12, just give a little extra towards principal. You'll get a 30-year loan down to about 23 years.
That's
nice.
amazing.
It's great,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yep, it's absolutely
And so
amazing.
15-year down to about 12 if you pay a one extra payment a year. So that's easy to do.
Yeah.
And so that's, in a way, you're saving because if you get your house paid off quicker, now you'll have all that free money to start really accelerating your savings in the future, okay? But I think there's no substitute for the time value of money. The sooner you can get that money put away, the more it's going to grow, and then the more that interest in there is going to grow itself. So it's going to triple compound, and Albert Einstein called that one of the 8 wonders of the world. back in the day.
Okay.
So again, don't worry if you haven't saved, but you may be doing a lot of things that are helping you and don't even realize it. If you're paying those bills off early, you're helping
Right.
yourself.
That's interesting because I heard you and Amanda on her endorsement on the radio, and you were talking about, well, I've still got some furniture that that you bought on time, as my dad used to say.
Yep.
And you were asking him, what do I need to pay off first?
Yep, and it was 0%, but they can still get you in the fine print, which is one of the books that really helped me. That Coach Pete gave me was like, hey, in the fine print fiasco.
Fine print
Yes.
fiasco. Yeah.
You can really, if you miss some of those details, oh, it's 60 months, oh, it's 0%, that can bite you. And coming from a family of parents who work check to check,
Yes.
and not knowing about money, and you see all those flashy things when you are in your 20s, when you are graduating, and you think, I want all this now. I want the fence, and I want the furniture, and
bet.
I want the car.
Gratisfaction, I call it. You want it immediate.
You want it immediately, and it really does require discipline. And I just implore you to get Coach in your circle and learn, like, hey, where could I be when I'm 60? Look long term. Stop looking so short term, and then you'll be where you need to be.
You know, the game and gimmicks, the same as cash. 60 months, same as cash. 5 years, same as cash.
Yeah.
They try to get you to do that. And here's the 2 zingers in there. Number one, they require a minimum payment every month still.
Yep.
And if you miss one of those minimum payments, they'll go back and get you for all the interest that you haven't paid yet, plus all the interest you have in the future too. And if you get to the 60 months and you wait one extra day, so 60 months and 1 day, they're going to go back and hit you with all that interest
Scary.
plus interest on top of that interest. So and fees and all that. You got to be very careful on that. But it's a great deal
Yes.
if you pay it off like the rules say.
Right.
Because free money. All right,
For sure.
but again, the only reason they're doing that, they're not doing it because they're a charity. They're doing it because they hope you mess up.
Yeah.
Vegas doesn't stay open because they're a charity, do they? They don't, come on in and win. No, they want you to come in and what? Mess up.
You bet.
And just like anything in life.
So how much money should someone have in their emergency fund if they're coming out of college and they're in their 20s?
Yeah, all right, it depends. And well, I hate that kind of answer, it depends. Well, it depends on what you're spending in a month.
Okay.
So if you can really figure out about what you spend in a month for all your bills and your fund, you need about 6 times that in emergency fund.
That's a lot.
Okay, and a lot of people say 2 years because what if you lost your job? And then so
Absolutely.
then the 2 years worth of fund would help, right? Because now you don't have a job and you're looking for a job.
Yep.
So and we see a lot of people like that these days with AI taking a lot of jobs away,
Oh, it's yes.
right? But a lot of people blame it on AI, but they just weren't doing a good job to begin with.
There's that.
If you're doing a great job, no one's going to replace you. Put it that way.
One of the things that always stands out to me when we talk, specifically when we talk a lot, you always go straight to retirement. And a lot of people go straight to retirement. But I'm a live in the now person.
Yep.
And so for me, I've come out of college, even now where I am in life, I want to take vacations.
Yep.
Yes.
I
You
see this.
I want to do stuff like that. And I do
I see
appreciate
Facebook.
I take a lot of vacations.
You were riding a camel this past summer.
I was.
That's pretty impressive.
Travel is so important to me. So I would
Yeah.
prioritize living my life now while I'm healthy and able.
Exactly.
Versus just getting a retirement. And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize that you help with too.
You can do both. Okay, you can live in the now and you can also save at the same time. And I like to put plans together like that too. They give you the fun now and the fun later, but never in a place where you're not going to have any money left over. So you always got to manage it the right way. But there's ways to do exactly what you're doing. You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
And you're doing a good job
But
with
it took many years to get here because I didn't want to, like you
Well,
said,
people are
live
afraid
and
to
check and
spend.
check. I don't want to do that.
I'm afraid to
don't
spend
know
this because I
what
might not have enough. Well,
Right.
what if we put plans together where you knew you had enough and you knew next year you're going to have even more money to do it? So that's what we do, replenishing income
Yeah.
and emergency accounts.
Sure.
No, and I'm telling you something I've been working on a lot is just stripping it down where I'm not buying too much. I am buying too much. Amazon, too much shopping, trying to rewear these clothes. Like people aren't going to see me again. So the saving tips that Coach has instilled have been great.
It makes it easy to spend money these days. Like McDonald's takes credit cards. I
Oh,
remember when
yeah.
they didn't take credit cards, it was really, really cheap to eat there. We used to go in with for Christmas, we'd get a $5 book of gift certificates back in the day.
remember
$1 at a
those.
time. And Mom would say, well, tear one away. So me and my brothers would all tear one out, $1. And we all hop in the car. We were all proud to pay for our own meal. We went up there and we get a hamburger, fries, a drink, and a cherry or apple pie. Remember the hot ones they used to
I
have?
do.
The
Yes.
deep fried ones?
Burn me.
And a drink. For under, man, milkshake a lot of times, for under $1. Crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Nowadays, you couldn't even get a burger for under $1.
And now Amazon's letting you stretch your payments out
Isn't that nice
on your
of them?
purchase, and they're doing it on everything. So it's really just everywhere. So
It's all
it's-
about trying to trap you behind that
Yep.
dead 8 ball, and you don't need to be trapped behind there.
Right.
And there are ways where you don't have to be. So let's get together. We'll put a plan together that makes sense for you, a common sense plan that encompasses fun,
I
like
can
Jen
still
wants to do,
live
but
my
fun
life.
now and fun later. We can
Yeah.
do it all together.
Finish first with this guy.
Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here in studio with best-selling author Coach Pete Aruda. Coach, how are you doing?
Great, Thomas. How are you?
I am doing very well. Excited to get into the topic. Now listen to this. Something that is going to throw us back to 1981. You probably know what it is.
Back to the future.
Stocks, bonds, inflation-protected bonds, industrial metals all slumping at the same time. Not a pretty reminder, is it?
No, and we're almost there now, Thomas. I mean, when you look at it, the problem these days is how strong is the American dollar? And not what an exchange rate is, but are we still using the American dollar to trade oil? And there have been rumors that that's going away. And if that goes away, we won't be able to print unlimited dollars anymore. We've been able to hide a lot of the dollars we print because we are the international exchange currency.
There you
if
go.
that goes away, we turn into Venezuela overnight.
Well, let me ask you this. You're talking about printing more dollars. Obviously, that means inflation.
Yeah.
And I have a note here that says just a 3% rate of inflation would cut your spending power in half over the course of 24 years.
Well, let's look at it. People hear inflation. A lot of people don't realize what that means.
Yeah.
That means there's way too many dollars out there for way too many things to buy. And so here's why it happened. The government gave away trillions of dollars, and a lot of the giveaways were to tell people not to work. So you're paying people not to work. And they're usually the people who are making the products that people are buying. So if you're not working to make the products, but they're giving you money to go buy products, there aren't products out there. So then the few products that are out there, the people who are selling them can charge what they want. We're seeing that with oil, obviously. We're seeing that with food. We're seeing that with almost everything we buy, even used cars. There are less few cars out there. There's a lot more dollars chasing the used cars around. And I've dumped a used car in the market than myself. I made a lot more money on a Honda Civic that I bought my daughter 2 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
I gave her a Jeep instead, and I made money.
I love it. I love it. I will be there soon enough. I will be there soon enough.
So this is not good, though. This is not good in the long run at all for anyone. You know, a lot of people like me just brag that I made more money selling a used car. So what? I'm getting punished all over the place. When I go to the food store, when I go to the appliance store, when I go any store, I'm paying a lot more than I should.
Okay, well, tell us, how can we develop that inflation shield then?
Yeah, well, we used to call it an inflation protected plan. It still is, but we need to make sure that our money is at least earning up to what inflation is. Or trying to earn. If you have money buried under a pillow, you're earning zero. And if inflation is admittedly 8%, I think it's higher than that, you are losing 8% a year in buying power.
Wow.
And then if you have money in a CD at a bank, maybe you're getting 1%. And again, inflation 8%, you're losing 7% per year out of your buying power. So your dollar is shrinking right in front of you, Thomas. We need to have a plan put together that at least helps us keep up with that inflationary aspect we have these days.
And this is something that you and the team specialize in. So folks, contact Coach Pete and the team here at Capital Financial. They keep a limited number of vacancies on their calendar just for viewers like you. So call in, reserve that spot. We offer virtual consultations as well as in-office consultations. So get yours today.
In 2024, an EBRI study said only 1 out of 4 Americans felt confident they'd never run out of money. So how can you help people build certainty into their plan?
There's a lot of great financial plans out there, but you don't have a retirement plan unless you have streams of lifetime income that's guaranteed. I like more than one stream. Of course, Social Security, that's a stream of income. It's an annuity offered by the government. Everyone gets Social Security. But we need our own personal annuities. We need to ensure our retirement. And it's great to look at these gigantic $1 million balances in the stock market. They're fun. It is fun to grow your money, and we want the market to grow. But we also want to preserve the money we've already taken all these years where we didn't do stuff to save. What good is it to save money to watch it disappear before you can spend it? So let's put some of the money in a place we can outlive and put those in streams of income account. With Bitcoin, though, every time you do a transaction, it goes all the way to the beginning, follows the chain all the way up, and puts your transaction way over here.
Wow.
On Ethereum, it goes back to the last time on the node, and it adds it right there going forward. So it's a lot faster on Ethereum. Now, both Ethereum and Bitcoin have pretty good transactional fees. Bitcoin calls it a transaction fee, and Ethereum calls it a gas fee.
Gas fee, yeah.
And that goes up and down depending on the surge, how many people are using it at the same time.
Yeah.
So there are some ones that don't charge a fee or minimal fees, but then you have to build trust with them. The only one I really trust that doesn't charge a fee is one called Nano, N-A-N-O. They're a non-profit crypto, sort of like Red Hat was back in the day for technology.
Right.
And they don't charge a transaction fee because there's nobody there to feed. It's a self-running program, but its main purpose is from peer-to-peer buying and selling.
Welcome back into our series on tax-savvy retirement, a book by best-selling author Coach Pete D'Arruda. I can't call it the latest because I just don't believe it will be here in the short
We're working
future.
on another one called Through the Years, by the way.
Yes, we are, which is very fun.
From 1909 all the way to 2025, telling you every single year the inflation, the how much cost of a loaf of bread, gas, these kind of great things, and then some of the famous songs back then, and just things you're going to bring back some good memories.
Oh, and it's so fun when you read through the book, guys, when you get your copy. It starts off in 1909, 1910, and we've put the style in the style of that era. So then as you progress to the 20s and the 30s, you
the
feel
roaring
that.
20s, right?
You get to the 40s, 50s, it feels like the Jetsons. You get to the, it's really fun. It's a fun book. I look forward to it. But let's focus on this one right now.
It's a good book right here, too.
Chapter 2, tax diversification and income bucket. So bucketing strategy. I'm sure many of you watching know that Coach Pete is and has been on television and radio for a very, very, very long time.
Over 20 years.
And we talk bucketing strategy a lot, but here you're talking about it in terms of taxation.
It's so much easier to understand your money when you can break it down into piles or buckets.
Yeah.
All right, so there's 3 main buckets when we're talking about taxation. We've got the taxable bucket. That's money that, like when you get a paycheck, it's taxable.
Sure,
Taxable
yeah,
money.
yeah.
If you have a CD at the bank, it's usually taxable, so that's taxable. We have the tax deferred bucket. That's where you earn interest, but you don't pay the taxes until you take the money out down the road. So like your IRAs are tax deferred.
Okay, yeah.
You got to put money in, you got to reduce your taxable income when you put the money in, but when you take the money out, you have to increase your taxable income because you have to pay tax on it. Then the most important bucket, the most overlooked bucket, the bucket that is usually not filled up, is the tax-free bucket.
Yeah.
That means when you take the money out, it comes out tax-free. When you pass away, it goes tax-free to your next of kin. This is the Roth IRA that you hear about. This is life insurance. If designed the right way, you can get a tax-free income from your life insurance policy through your life, and then when you pass away, a tax-free death benefit will go to your beneficiaries, your family. Very, very important. Or your churches or charity.
That's powerful.
We had somebody, he instead of giving to the church every week, he told the pastor he was going to use that money and buy a life insurance policy with it. So that when he passed away, he left $1 million to the church tax-free.
I bet they were happy about that.
See, I mean, that's a creative way right there. It made a lot of sense.
It is.
So if you turn the tax law upside down, it can be your best friend. If you have it as it is now and don't really pay attention to it, it's going to be your worst enemy.
That's good.
So we have something we call tax planning, looking ahead to protect your behind from the tax man. So let's get a tax plan put together along with your retirement plan and your income plan, and now you'll be in control of retirement and not worry anymore.
Yes.
Because the worst thing you could do is stay up late at night wondering where you're going to get the money to pay the taxes on retirement.
Yeah.
We can help you with all that, folks. And because you're watching this, you qualify for no-cost consultation with a team who specializes in everything we talk about here in the book. So let's get a plan put together at no cost or obligation for you and your family. Go to CoachPete.com or call the number you see on the screen. You can be getting started as soon as next week, getting in control of your money instead of your money controlling you.
Very good. The time to act is now, folks. Call that number you see on your screen. This is all a part of Coach Pete's 22-step planning process. Tax is obviously a very big part of that.
Yes.
Maximize your own income, minimize those taxes, and we will see you for Chapter 3 of Tax Savvy Retirement.
All right, red money, yellow money, green money in retirement. What is all this, and what does it mean to diversify between the three?
Red, green, yellow. Sounds like a song, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But again, we don't want to take too much risk when we're getting into that financial red zone. And that's about age 50 or 5 years outside of retirement or any time in retirement, you are in the financial red zone. So what that means, Amanda, is when we're young, we can take a lot of risk with our money because in theory, if we lose it, we have time to gain it back. But if you ask me, I don't like losing money at any time. I don't know about you. So we can make sure to minimize risk, but also maximize return. But the most important part of anything, Amanda, is making sure you have a lifetime of income that when you approach retirement, you can never outlive that.
So if someone already has a retirement plan in place and they haven't revisited it in a long time, it's time to sit down with you, right, and say, hey, what are my goals? Where am I headed? Maybe they don't trust the financial person that they're with now.
You ever drive down the road, Amanda, and you go through that pothole, and you do it every day for the longest time, and so you know how to avoid it, but then you look in your rearview mirror and see other people hitting it? Well, a retirement plan can't be like that. It can't be like the road service that never fixes a pothole.
Yeah.
A good retirement plan is reviewed every year so that we can fill the potholes and, more importantly, get you on a different road to begin with. If you have potholes in your retirement, you're in the wrong road to begin with. So let's get that smooth glide path into retirement, get that true lifetime income plan. I've been doing this over 33 years now, so I know what I'm doing as far as structuring retirement income you can't outlive. If you want to get a real plan together, folks, that doesn't have potholes in it, call right now.
I'm excited about our next guest. I've known the next guest for many years. He's a personal friend of mine, Coach Pete D'Arruda, CoachPete.com, America's Wealth Coach. Welcome, Coach Pete.
Great to see you, Tommy.
So, Pete, I know a little bit about your background. The audience doesn't, so fill us in on how you got to where you are.
We have 33 years in the financial arena now. Gosh, time flies, doesn't it? It seems like just yesterday. I started working with teachers in the 90s, showing them how to save money, tax deductible, or put it away before taxes come out in the 403B, federal 403B program, helping them save for retirement. Tom, then they started to retire. And I said, gosh, I need to know how to help them the rest of the way. So I got my Retirement Income Certified Professional designation from the American College, which teaches me and taught me how to make sure that people never run out of money in retirement.
Here we are, the big book on retirement. I'm Thomas Lipscomb here with Coach Pete D'Arruda, going chapter by chapter through the book, getting some behind the scenes knowledge and wisdom. And you're here for chapter 2, so let's dive right in. The chapter is called Learn the Rules. And you got a quote here at the top I like. It's from Albert Einstein. He says, you got to learn the rules of the game. Then you have to play better than anyone else. But learning the rules is huge, and I think I can pick on myself a little bit here, Coach. You know, I'm not a huge sports fan. I'm more into the music and the nerdy stuff. But I know my rules when it comes to hockey, and I can enjoy the game because of that, or soccer or whatever. But then there are games out there that I simply just don't know the rules for.
Well, look at driving. You have to know the rules there. So it doesn't have to be just a game. It could be anything in life. There's rules.
That's true.
Anything you do have rules. You go to the bathroom, public restroom, there's rules. You don't walk up right behind people when they're, when you're waiting. That kind of, there's different things you have to do.
That's good, yeah.
And so knowing the rules will put you in charge. If you know the rules, you can build a plan around the rules.
Yes.
If you don't know the rules, you could do things that aren't right. And so the rules are not telling you what's. You're not going to go to jail if you don't follow the rules, but you could be in a lot worse situation if you don't follow the money rules.
Yeah, it's true. We've talked about people who have had excessive penalties more than they needed to, or maybe just not optimizing things properly, just because they didn't understand the rules. I do, because the tax. How big are these books with the rules in them? It's a lot in there.
I had a conversation with my daughter the other day because Daddy pays for her credit card each month. She's at college right now, and I noticed she was doing a lot of these food deliveries. And Daddy had a conversation with her about how when Daddy was in school, he bought one loaf of bread and peanut butter and jelly and basically lived off that. He didn't pay delivery fees. So I said, you're a young girl. There's a snack bar right in the first floor of her dorm.
Oh, okay.
I said, walk down there and buy the snacks. Don't have someone bring it to your door because then you have to pay delivery fee and you got to tip people. So, when you're paying everybody else money, it's hard to build money. And, the people that understand money and have a lot of money are the ones that did smart money decisions going forward.
It's true.
Because anytime money goes out, you have to work extra hard just to bring it back in. She doesn't because it's Daddy's money. Daddy doesn't like his money going out there. I have a limit now. It's a pretty good limit, though, but each month for her. But and I'm not being a mean dad. I'm just saying it's okay to eat that way every now and then, but don't do it all the time because that's a money evil. They're trying to steal money from you, and they are.
That's good.
Paying tips and delivery fees.
I think, my grandma certainly didn't make up the saying, but she used to say a penny saved is a penny earned.
Absolutely.
And I think the word ownership has a lot to do with this conversation as well. Just owning your retirement, making the most of it. Nobody else is going to do it for you at the end of the day.
I used to pick pennies up all the time back in the day. And you could get a piece of candy for 1 penny back in the day. That was pretty cool. So there was no tax on it. You'd go in and get a penny, you go get a piece of candy.
I love it.
So, but there was a study we did back in the day, and it said if you have a penny and you double it every day for 1 month, 30 days, you'd have over $1 million. Wow. If you doubled it. So the next day would be 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, etc. You're up to millions of dollars. I think it was like 10 million by the time 30 days
That's
came.
incredible. That's incredible. I remember seeing
penny
that
saved
chart.
is a lot of pennies earned.
A lot of pennies earned. I love that.
Yeah.
We're going to allude to compound interest there, which is later on in this here book. But until then, you like that? Until then, though, let's wrap up chapter 2, and folks, get ready for chapter 3. If anything that you've read in here or heard in here has drawn out some questions, and you want to talk to one of Coach Pete's fiduciary planners, just give us a call, text us, communicate with us. We'd be happy to sit down with you and walk you through the goal line.
Yeah.
See you next time.
It's Women and Money, and we luckily have some gals here. I've got Miss Jana, I've got Miss Amanda, I'm Jackie, and we have Coach Pete to keep us on the plan to make sure that we have enough money going through our stages of life. Because you're right, it's not just about, is it? It's not just about retirement.
No, it's about living your life today and doing things you want to do to enjoy your life.
Living your life today without punishing yourself tomorrow. And that's what we do. We can do a plan like that. So you don't have to punish yourself ever. And so there are a lot of people that say, gosh, I can't have any fun because I need to save this money for retirement. Then you get to retirement, you can't do anything anyway.
Because you don't feel good.
Here's a fact of life. We get slower as we get older, don't we?
Right. Don't remind me. But through all the ages and stages, I think the important thing is, like, for instance, I'm getting married.
Great. Let's do it.
Next year. But it's been a really big topic in our house because I want to buy, certain things for the wedding. Ryan wants to buy certain things for the wedding. His big things are food and entertainment. And my big things are the dress and maybe the honeymoon. And maybe, so we had to really look at like, okay, do we really need flowers? And the answer is no, the venue's pretty enough. That was one of the main things.
I love it.
So I'm trying to
You're paying a lot of money for the venue.
Yeah.
Well, usually flowers are to cover up a bad venue. So
There
you already
you
have
go.
a good venue. What do you need
It's
for
a
that
it?
is
good venue.
brilliant.
It's beautiful. It's lush. I'm like into the wedding, surviving all of that with families and
Yeah.
cost and expense. But how do you, reel it in?
Many times a wedding is the first time a girl turning into a woman has ever had to worry about a budget.
Okay.
Because a lot of, like the rule is that the parents of the daughter always pay for the wedding. That's what they
Yeah.
always say, right? So I'm a parent of two daughters. So
Yeah.
I'm but see, what Alan has done, my friend whose daughter's getting married, is he put together a absolute budget, like amount.
Okay.
We're not going over 40,000. He said,
Oh,
which is a pretty big
Great.
budget
That's
if you
pretty
ask
good.
me.
Yes.
So,
That's generous.
but you
don't
have to. So even with a $40,000 budget, though, his daughter is starting to complain because she says, "I don't have enough for this. I want a live band. I want a cello. I want." But you have to make our somewhere, and that's what our Congress doesn't know how to do that because all they do is print more money. But we can't manage our personal debts or financial situations like Congress because we don't have some people may have a printing press.
Yeah.
That's illegal though. But no, it's just finding. You make that. You've done it too. You're already doing it. Mentally, you're making a priority. It's what's most important. What are the 5 most important things in this wedding for me?
yes.
Right? You probably thought about that.
I'm getting married later in life too.
Yeah.
And so I'm not in but to my advice to the people that are in their 20s or early 30s that are doing it, I'm 40 now, is just really look at long term, like what else could I spend this money on? And for me, it's Jackson's school, and we need to extend the fence in the backyard, and I want to do this to the house.
You can always find a need somewhere to spend money.
As
Can't you?
opposed to a
That's not enough
one-day,
money.
4-hour party.
Yeah. And I want to invest, and I want to I don't want to be stranded in retirement where I'm like, why didn't I do this?
Well, I've seen some people, they say, well, we want to do a good honeymoon too, but we only have a certain amount of money for the whole wedding. So let's take a little bit away from the wedding and have a really nice honeymoon. Because the honeymoon's more important than anything. The people coming to the wedding are just coming to eat free and drink free on you.
Amen.
You know that. That's the only reason I go to weddings.
So once you're actually married,
I'll remember that.
little personal dig here, but once you're married, are you going to blend your accounts, or are you keeping your own bank accounts?
So this is a loaded question because he technically has all of his stuff in Texas and I have all of my stuff in North Carolina. So it's not something we've figured out yet. And so we'll have to get with Coach and talk about the benefits, the pros and the cons.
You know, the first thing you need is a trust.
Okay.
Because you're a blended family with a child. The trust is the most important thing. Not a will, but a trust. Because you don't want to end up like Cinderella. You don't want Jackson turning, like if you pass away and all of a sudden he remarries and all of a sudden Jackson's treated like Cinderella. So you establish a trust.
Amanda's getting a trust today.
I'm getting a trust
Trusts are
right
very
now.
important. We do those trusts, and we have an attorney organization that we utilize to do the trust.
Okay.
But they are a lot more affordable if you do it through us than if you go see an attorney.
Truly.
Interesting.
So
That's such a
lot
good
more.
one.
We're talking about 60% less.
And there's tax advantages to
There's
having the trust, right?
Well, sometimes there's tax advantages. It's more of a peace of mind.
Okay.
A trust speaks for you even if you're not here anymore. That's what a trust does. A trust is a way to bypass probate. A will is an invitation to probate. Guess how much probate costs? Between 3 and 7% of whatever you have in your estate is lost in probate, plus probate is not private. Trusts are totally private. So that's why trust makes so much more sense. And so, but especially if you have a blended family, especially if you're getting married, everybody really needs some kind of trust or will, but everybody needs that little green book of life. So you can come in and if you come in to see me, I'll give you a copy, but you can buy it on Amazon as well.
The more you know with Coach Pete, you got to have that trust.
Really is. Trust is important in life in more ways than one.
So I'm going to pin you down on this one too. Do you recommend, we have a newlywed coming in, we won't use each other, but do you want her to keep her own separate finances, or do you recommend a blended household?
All right, here's something that causes a lot of divorces. Joint checking accounts. Joint checking accounts cause more divorces than anything.
Really?
They do.
Joint checking accounts. So I like a joint account to pay the bills, like the mortgage and the utilities, and you both put a little money in there. You
Into the
establish
pot.
what you're putting in there. Yeah, you both contribute. But then you both should have your own separate checking accounts. It's no fun to get a gift from a joint checking account
I agree.
for a birthday. Oh, happy birthday, honey. Well, good. Look what I paid for. You know,
I'm not a fan of the
yes.
joint, so I feel like for that reason and other stuff. But my
so
independence.
joint accounts for your bills that you need, the community property, cars, insurance, all the kind of stuff you want to pay for together. But if you like a nicer car, you have your own account.
Nice.
It sounds fair to me. I still need my independence.
A lot less fighting
Yes.
if you have it's a blended family kind of thing, because now you're with your husband, so blend the accounts. Have a joint, and then you both have your own individual.
And if you really have a good man, which you know you will, when you say, honey, can you please buy me this? Then that's fine.
Yeah, but you don't want to buy it with a joint money, right?
No.
Yeah, so what fun is it to get flowers from the money you just
Jack
paid?
is like,
you worked for.
absolutely no.
No, it makes sense. But again, you have to figure out, and these conversations, unfortunately, are had after the wedding, not before.
It's true. Because
And
it's people don't like to talk about money, especially women. It's an awkward, a taboo subject.
But you guys are making 47% of the money worldwide
So it
now.
doesn't-
It's time for you guys to be a member of the conversation.
Yeah, and it's not being confrontational.
No.
It's just having the
Just
gumption to
get
say,
it down,
hey,
because if you get it
let's
down
go.
now and no confusion and you understand it completely, then there'll be no, well, there could be some confrontation in the future, but it won't be because of that money, right? It won't be because of that.
Maybe it should include the wedding plans, a consultation with a financial
It should,
planner.
like a-
Let's get this
Ooh.
thing.
Here we go.
If he can counsel us, right? You go to talk to your clergyman
I am,
when you're talking about, right?
One course away from being a psychologist, by the way. I had 5 psychology classes too, so it's a good. There's a lot of
Somebody say
psychology
that's
when I
funny.
meet
The
with
psychology
folks.
of money,
Yeah,
yes.
there's a big correlation between money and psychology.
Sure, yeah.
Coach, he's the man.
Get in to see Coach Pete.
So that's segment 3. When we come back, we've got 2 more segments here to talk about, episode segment, whatever we want to talk about, but we're going to get into even more detail when we come back. Hey, I'm Coach Pete Deruta, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
So let's talk crypto. I know it's not in our script, but what are your thoughts around crypto?
Well, they show it on CNBC now on the ticker down there. It always has the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and Bitcoin. So it's here. And you have companies that are putting it in their balance sheet. They're investing in it. Even countries are using it for their national security. They're building their national treasure up with Bitcoin. So I was always a skeptical guy. I still am. I'm a Generation X guy, so I'm skeptical. But I've got 4 Bitcoin myself. Not a lot, but my average cost is a lot higher than what we're talking about here. But it's a lot lower than what my average cost is a lot lower than what it is now. I never thought we'd see over 100,000.
Yeah. So I was the biggest Bitcoin non-believer there was. I mean, it's the greater fool theory. You got to find somebody dumber than you to pay more to it. That's what I thought. And then I watched, I might have been Michael Saylor on CNBC.
Saylor's really good.
Lay out a believable case to a total non-believer like me that Bitcoin could hit $1 million someday. And he said, all we're recommending is that our clients put 1% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, because if it goes to 0, that won't hurt you. Yeah. If it goes to $1 million, you're going to be happy you did it. Well, that resonated with me. And so I put 1% of my portfolio back when Bitcoin was 2,000 a Bitcoin.
Oh, there you go.
And that is now worth well over 7 figures.
Good for you, Tom.
And so I just took 1%, and so that was just a little risk with a major. I've never had anything go up as much as that has gone up.
Just make sure you have it in a good place and someone can't come and steal it from you. Yeah. That's the only thing to hear about this.
I know that.
And welcome into the next episode of Tax Savvy Retirement, the series. I'm Thomas Lipscomb here alongside the author, Coach Pete Deruta. If you don't know who he is, turn on your radio, your TV, walk through the airport. He's all over the place, folks. But today, you're gracing me with your time here in the studio. I'm excited because this is a really awesome resource. I love what you've put into this book, Coach. And we're going to be talking withdrawal strategies specifically for tax optimization. And I just want to throw out a term here that I think a lot of our viewers are going to know. That's the 4% rule. You'll see this written about on CNBC or Fox Business, wherever you're looking. Could you kind of explain what that is and what your view on that is?
Yeah, it was put in by Wall Street a long time ago. It says as long as you only take 4% of your stock account out, you have about a 92% chance of not outliving your money.
Okay.
All right, 92% chance of being okay. You know what I don't like? You've got an 8% chance of being in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't design any plan unless it has a 100% chance of you not being in trouble.
That's good. Yeah.
So I've always held my nose when someone comes in and says, well, my broker says I'll be fine. I say, yeah, you got about a 92% chance of being fine. What if you're in that 8% where you don't? If you got on a plane and the pilot came on the loudspeaker and said, folks, we got about a 92% chance of landing safely today, who do you think is going to be the first person off that plane?
I'll be right behind you. How about that?
Yeah, you'll be able to do it. But, all right, so, and then they've done some studies and they said, really, you can't call it the 4% rule because a lot of people have run out of money. When the market goes down, you're taking money out. It could be even worse than a 8% chance of outliving your money. So then they came up, they revised it, and they called it the 2.8% rule.
Is that what it was?
So if you got $1 million, you can take $28,000 out a year and you got a 92% chance.
Imagine working your whole life, saving up that $1 million nest egg.
Even 4% rule is only $40,000.
Yeah.
So the strategies we employ give you about 40 to 60% more with a 100% chance of not outliving your money.
I love it. That's so
lifetime income planning. So instead of getting 40,000, you get 60,000, and you got a 100% chance of never having a problem.
See, you take the worry out and you get more.
Taking the worry out of living in retirement.
That's a great.
One thing you don't want to be worried about in retirement is where the money's going to come from. You worked all your life to put this money away. Don't have someone take it away from you or outspend it. And so you can try to do it yourself, folks, but the do-it-yourselfer model never works. And you know, a lot of times we're going to have the first 10 years or 20 years of retirement. That's when we're going to be in the go-go years still.
Yes.
We could go do all the fun things. So you don't want to say, well, I don't know if I can afford it or not. And don't take vacations until you're 80 or 90, because then you might not be able to do it anymore.
That's very good.
So our planning enables you to start right away. We encourage you every year to go take a vacation, spend that money, because if not, you're going to build a bunch of money up. You're going to leave your kids. And guess what? They're going to take vacations. You take your vacation. So we make you take vacations. That's the way my planner's mean. He makes me go on vacations. Yeah. But again, it's all about understanding the taxes in there and making sure you understand the withdrawal strategies. And we can put together a total income plan for you that has 100% certainty of never having problems. All you have to do is call the number you see on the screen. There's no cost or obligation for this. We offer it every single week on our radio show. You can get it now, and I really think it makes sense, especially after reading this book. You know that you need to be in control, and we can put you in control.
You absolutely can. Folks, call Coach Pete and his fiduciary team at Capital Financial today. I love it. You said the word twice there, Coach, understanding. Yeah. It's so key, folks. Gain that understanding in your retirement plan. It'll lead to confidence, security. Call now, and we will be back with you shortly for the next chapter, Chapter 4.
This big game, every move counts. Plan wisely to win the match. Sidestep the unexpected and charge towards your goal. Navigate through the challenges. Retirement is your end zone, and the touchdown is within reach. A successful retirement is your championship. Let Coach Pete design your customized income game plan today.
So how do you handle this wealth transfer?
Yeah, it's tough because that's where the fights start.
Yeah.
I mean, the most friendliest families ever aren't friendly anymore when mom or dad passes away, or when the second of the two passes away, especially. Do it ahead of time. Again, it comes back to the little green book of life. As the person, you can write in here who you want to get things, and then why, and then they also do a trust or will to back this up. I like trust better than will, because a trust is pretty concrete, and a will is an invitation to probate, and a trust is a bypass probate. But this is what you do. You fill this out, then you bring this into an attorney, or go online and do your own trust. We've got a program that does it a lot cheaper than attorneys do, and then they have attorneys behind the scenes. But this little green book of life is step one. Put your desires down and make sure people don't fight, because we don't have pyramids anymore, Tom. They don't bury you with all your goods.
Welcome back into the next episode of Tax Savvy Retirement. I'm Thomas Lipscomb alongside best-selling author Coach Pete D'Arruda. We are covering Chapter 4 today. It is Tax Bracket Management Strategies. This sounds interesting to me. One thing I do know is there are tax brackets, and you don't necessarily want to creep too far into those. Is it hard to do, though, in retirement, because you've got RMDs and all these different things that are,
One of the things that people get worried about is they say, gosh, I don't want to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. That means you're making a lot of money.
Okay.
And so here's what you shouldn't worry about. Now, we have these tax brackets. You make a certain amount of money, you pay 15% tax. We'll say you make a little more, you pay 22%. You make even more, 28%. But it's only on the excess. Yeah. So let's say, Coach, I can't make over $50,000 because I don't want to go into this 22% tax bracket. So, well, if you make $51,000, only $1,000 of that long term is 15 or 20%, a lot better deal.
Okay.
So you say, well, Coach, this is going to put me into a higher tax bracket. I do not want to be in that higher tax bracket. I heard you, Coach. I heard you say I'm only going to have to pay the taxes on the excess, but I don't even want to do that. Now, so let's look through your stock portfolio. I'm pretty sure you've had a loss or two, like a bad stock. Maybe you're down some. Why, yes, there's this penny stock that my broker told me about, and I've lost $10,000 in there. Oh. So you sell that, you take a $10,000 loss and go against the $10,000 gain you just made, you equaled that out. Now you're still in the low tax bracket.
I like that.
So there's a lot of creative ways. And so don't despair, but get a planner who's been there before and understands the tools and techniques to help you look ahead in the tax code to protect your behind from the tax man.
Very important
so
to
we
do.
do that. It's fun, folks. It's fun. When we turn the tables on the tax man, it gets really fun, Thomas, because it's a lot of fun to tell the tax man, well, I know you're not getting more tax this year from me. Matter of fact, you're going to give me money back or something like that.
I love it.
So it's about using what's available to you to put you in control. It's called tax arbitrage, and we do that every single day. 100% legal, using the rules as they exist, put you ahead of the game. You that peace of mind.
Yeah.
We're not here to sell something. We're here to make sure you're in control.
That right there is the power of fiduciary, folks. Connect
Yep.
with his fiduciary team now. You see the information on your screen, how you can connect with us. Start it. Knowledge is power. I think that came from Schoolhouse Rock, right?
Yeah, it did.
Knowledge is power, and we will see you on the next chapter.
Welcome back to our series, Women and Money. I wish it was called Women in Money, because then we'd all be in the money. I'm just saying. We've got Coach Pete here to kind of guide us along. Jackie, I've got Amanda, and Jana, Miss Jana. Now, what about the divorce, Coachy? What if we get divorced with our money?
There was old Eddie Murphy comedy routine. He said half the money's going somewhere else. We see a lot of, unfortunately, they call them silver divorces. And a lot of people get it. Like
in retirement, yeah.
You go from working, so when you're working 40 hours a week, you really hardly ever see your spouse. You see him in the morning, maybe.
Yeah.
And you see him at night for maybe dinner, a late dinner, a kiss, a good night, and then the same thing. Then on the weekends, you're doing yard work or you're hanging out with friends or maybe you're not spending much time together. And then you get excused from work, or you either retire or you get let go, and now you're at home 40 hours and your spouse is there too. Maybe you see too much of each other.
Oh,
you go
dear.
from not seeing each other at all. Well, let's even rewind even further. You go from dating all the time and loving each other to getting married and then getting jobs and then not seeing each other hardly at all for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And now all of a sudden you're seeing each other full time again. It's a new person.
It is, because you
You
change as
change.
you age.
We all change. I mean, look, even our world changes because we have 7 continents now, and they used to be one big piece of land.
Yeah,
They're
right.
constantly separated
Yeah.
from each other, aren't they, Jana? And so we all are. There's gravitational pull pulling us
that.
different ways. And so compromise it gets more and more valuable and important as we get further into marriage.
And if you can't change together, if you can't, grow, then all of a sudden you are facing that separation or divorce. But even further than that.
Now, and so it makes it a whole lot easier to cheat if you want to, I guess, doesn't
I
it?
suppose, yeah.
And so, and it makes it a whole lot easier to cheat, meaning spend
With
a lot of
money,
money.
yes.
Yeah, and so when debt collectors are calling you on your phone, here they're not calling it a hallway phone anymore. My dad used to. We weren't allowed to talk to girls when I was growing up because Dad was a college professor. He said girls were almost like Bobby Boucher would say, the devil.
Oh my gosh, did
And
he?
so Dad would get mad at us, because he said, you should be studying. That's what he always
funny.
say. So we had one phone, and so we had to make the conversations very short. And to this day, I don't like talking on the phone because I never really talked on the phone.
Yeah. Do you recommend prenup?
I recommend having a conversation about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's something that, yes, financially makes a whole lot of sense. Emotionally, it's that's a minefield. isn't
It could be. It
Yeah.
could really separate you initially, like even before the wedding happens. If I want to get a prenup, but
What have you been thinking about this?
well, I was married before.
Yep.
So
Who hasn't been these days?
and so,
Jana's only married one
Still
time.
working on my first marriage.
and he had a lot of Bitcoin that I didn't know about.
Wow.
And he was actually buying a lot of Bitcoin with our money, joint money. So I'm like, what you know, it was shocking to me to know about that when we got divorced. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, have the hard conversations now, because then you find out, hey, are you compatible or not? Because if you're not willing to go through the hard conversation just to sit down face to face, if you're not grown up enough for that, then red flag. Yeah. So I guess that's the red flag.
The Bitcoin's
for me.
interesting. I assume they found that on a forensic accounting dive into there. Yeah, saying, where did this money go? Because he thought he was being all sneaky, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well,
did you get half the Bitcoin?
I don't want to say exactly, but we had a lot of money in our real estate too. Nashville was up like a crazy amount, so that was nice. But I just didn't know the depths of all of it. And the forensic accounting is expensive.
Yeah,
you don't
they make
know
some
how
money
much
now.
that is. So know that. Know before you get married. And I don't know if I want to get a prenup. I feel like I trust Ryan 100%. But if you get married without a prenup, is what you have before you get married yours?
Yeah, if you get married without a prenup, you usually, if you're bringing it into the wedding, marriage, it should be yours. But again, I would outline it. It doesn't have to be a prenup, and I'm not an attorney, by the way.
Yeah.
But I would write down type something out saying, you know, we're entering this marriage at this date, and before I met you, I accumulated this.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing this in, and you had this, and you're bringing this into the marriage. If we leave each other in the future, divorce, then we should both leave with this without these being disturbed by each other. In other words, whatever I bring, I should leave with. But if you put it in writing and you both sign it and get it, I'm a notary, I can notarize for you. Get it notarized. It would be better than not having anything, right, Jackie? I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Again, I'm not an attorney. But,
Absolutely.
you know, money causes more arguments than anything by about 10 to 1.
So iron it out now.
Iron it out now, because it's not going to get any better. And if people are fighting and say, well, once we're married, everything will be fine. No, it's going to get worse. So you got to start with a queen sea that has no waves in it, because it's going to get rocky. There's going to be 10-foot waves, swells. They're going to have 30, 40, 50, 70-foot swells in your relationship. We have a storm coming in right now offshore. They said about 70 to 90-foot waves on the offshore, but they call them swells, because they're not really here. But if they hit the coast, that's bad. So you don't need that kind of wave hitting your relationship in the future either. So you can quell the waters by getting everything done ahead of time on a piece of paper, get it signed.
Sure. You know, as far as retirement accounts are concerned, because let's jump to that, because you're in the marriage stage. But what about the Social Security claiming and the retirement accounts? What would you suggest women do?
Yeah, well, a lot of times your husband has made more money than you have over the years. It's not your fault. It's just what the world has done. So
a lot of women take time off to have kids, and they have many years of not earning.
There's two parts. Remind me of the second part.
Okay.
It's about divorce. Remind me of that in a minute.
Okay.
But this is like, if you're married to your husband and you're still, and you're retiring, or you want to start taking Social Security, you may be able to take your husband's portion. It may be more than yours before you activate yours. And so you can that's a special claiming strategy where you get a lot more income until yours builds up to the point where it's higher, or it may never. You can always get your spouse's part. Okay. But if you've been married before and you've been divorced, you're married for at least 10 years and you're currently divorced, you can actually claim your ex-spouse's Social Security amount. Whoa. And they don't know about it and it doesn't affect theirs. So you may only get, like, let's say $2,000 a month, but ex-spouse may get $3,800. Which one are you going to claim? Your ex-spouse.
Wow.
So we can show you how to do that too. So these are a lot of things that people overlook. And here's one thing: the Social Security Administration will not tell you that when you go there. All their job is to make sure that you fill your paperwork out. They can't give you any advice. So we give advice before you go make that decision, Social Security wise. So that's a big one.
That's a huge one.
It's a big one.
So it's best to get in to talk to a
Get
planner.
a claiming strategy, anytime. I mean, I think it's good to have a financial advisor on call anyway, but I mean, once a year you should meet with your advisor and go through what changed in a year.
Sure.
Well, this is a big change when you get ready to retire, so then there's a need for a big meeting. If you don't have an advisor yet, sort of like not going to the dentist for years and years and years,
Boy,
and your tooth is starting to hurt.
Oh, boy.
Well, getting close to retirement, just picture your financial teeth are starting to hurt. You need to go meet with them. And I promise we're not going to do any drilling.
Good. That's good. Boy, do I wish I would have known this stuff when I was married, because I got divorced during the CDs, with splitting up the CD. Oh my goodness, you guys.
But if you've gone through a divorce,
Well, we married more than 10 years?
Yes.
We'll be able to enact that strategy then down the road.
Fine. Works for me.
Jackie's making notes. But if you've been through a divorce, you're probably already sensitive. You know, it's probably hell to go through one. If somebody needs to simplify things, will you do this for them?
Yeah. Yeah, we break it down.
If I just say, hey, I like what you said, do
Yeah.
it. I don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah. Here's what we always do. Since I've come from a family of educators, dad, college professor, mom, school teacher, I like to do it for people, but then I also like to show them how we did it, how they can do it themselves.
Nice.
Okay, and why? And always, it's one thing when somebody does something, they say, well, why did they do that? They never tell you. Like, you go to the doctor's office, here, let me hit the knee. Why are you doing that, doc? My knee moves. You tell me why. But that's what we do. We tell you why we're doing things and why should we take income from the regular IRA before the Roth IRA? Or why should we get life insurance because it has a long-term care rider on it? Life insurance is something everybody has, but a lot of people have these old policies. What does that mean? Well, the new life insurance policies let you take some of your death benefit, like let's say you have $1 million life insurance policy, a lot of people have at least $1 million. You have to go to a nursing home. You don't have nursing home insurance, but you have a life insurance policy that has a nursing home rider on it. Nice. These are the new policies. You can reach into your death benefit. Let's say you need $100,000 for home health care for a year. They'll give you $100,000 out of your death benefit, tax-free, and there it is. And probably you only paid maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for that whole life insurance policy. Now you've already got $100,000 out to pay for long-term care this year. You can do it next year, the year after. The year after, when you pass away, whatever's left gets passed on as a death benefit to your next of kin.
You're like a protector. You're like Coach Pete to the scene.
Well, it really makes a lot of sense because long-term care, you guys haven't talked about it, but you guys are going to spend more. Well, you can't really say this, but women are going to spend more time in long-term care facilities than Coach Pete is because, again, us guys don't live as long. But both my wife's grandmothers were in long-term care facilities for 5 years or longer.
I want a nice rest home, so I'm planning to
get that life insurance.
Buckling down.
Yeah, because long-term care insurance is way overpriced and is nowhere near as good as having a life insurance policy, which you need anyway. They can never raise the rates on you. They can never kick you out. And it's always there. It's a permanent policy. It doesn't go away once you get it. And it doesn't have...
Americans fear outliving their income is worse than dying early.
It is. And so I wrote about this. I've got a pocketbook series. So 6 different books like this. This is number 4. This is tactics. And one of the tactics is to make sure that you have an account set up or 2 or 3 accounts that are going to make sure to give you that financial fill-up strategy. It's one thing to ask a broker, hey, is my retirement safe? And of course, they're going to say yes, because they don't want your money to leave. If your money leaves, so does their commissions or their money under management fee. So we need to have some of our money that's isolated from financial termites, I call them. Those are unnecessary risk, fees, and commissions coming out of your accounts. And we could do that with the insurance industry, a step forward to give you lifetime guaranteed income accounts. And if you don't have one, you really need one, Tom.
Welcome back into Annuity Avenue, folks. Coach Pete here. I've got Mr. Greg Berrien with me, one of my advisors. Works really hard to make sure people are happy, not only today, tomorrow, but all the way through retirement. I think you're going to see how great Greg does his job here when we talk about this hypothetical case example here. Before we tape this episode, we have an Uncle Sam hat in the office. We should bring that in here, Thomas, next time. But it's Uncle Sam hat, and inside the hat are a bunch of different age numbers, from 50 all the way to 98, believe it or not. And Greg reaches in there, and we decided we were going to do a widow this week. So just one person. Greg, what number did you draw out this week?
70 years old, Coach.
70-year-old widow. Yeah. Okay. And then we have a different hat. We reach in. Well, actually, we dump the numbers out, and then we put different numbers in the same hat. It's the same hat, but it's a different kind of draw. We have lump sums in there. So what kind of lump sum did you draw out, Greg?
Well, what we drew out was $500,000.
$500,000. All right, 70-year-old widow, $500,000. Keep in mind, the money we draw out of here is not all her money. This is the money that we say should be in a green account instead of a red account. So typically, we add another 25 or 30% to that, and that's extra money they have, and that should be in different places than this example we're showing. So, but the $500,000, Greg, needs to be in a safe place because she has no safety whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
She's 70 years old, and she has no income plan. She has Social Security as her only income. How can we get her in a better position right now?
That's it, Coach. We're looking at, a significant income gap.
Yeah.
And that's
between
really
what she's going to get from Social Security and what she needs to live on, probably, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You see a lot of folks in their 70s. You've seen plenty of widows in their 70s.
Unfortunately.
And there's only one stream of income coming in, and they've lost one of the Social Security incomes. They may not even have any income other than that. And we've got the evil eye, and the evil eye doesn't stand for income. It stands for inflation. Inflation is beating the heck out of it. It's making Swiss cheese out of your big piece of cheese. It's now got a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
So we need to stop the holes. We need to get rid of those financial moths. They make holes. I've never had that happen to me, but that's why people put mothballs. So we got some financial mothballs we sprinkle around, and we make sure to put this money in a safe place. So go over to the whiteboard now. Let's write down let's go through the numbers.
All right.
So in that blue box, you're going to write down the age 70.
All right, she's 70 years old.
Single lady.
Single.
And we drew $500,000 out, right?
$500,000.
So Greg, your job, if you decide to accept it today, is to show us how that $500,000 can be in a safe place and give her a lifetime income.
Guaranteed.
Do you accept that?
Coach, I accept your challenge.
Oh, yeah? All right, Greg. Now, again, this is a very valuable challenge you're taking on because a lot of folks watching probably have $500,000, probably have a lot of widows watching. We do have a lot of people watching each week. By the way, folks, if you like what you're watching, like it on the screen there on the where you can do the thumbs up, and also share with your friends because a lot of your friends probably could use this information too. So, all right, Greg, 70-year-old, single, widow, $500,000. Right now, it's all in the red bucket, which means it could go down, down, down. It could go up, up, up. There's no floor between what she can make and what she can lose, right?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so what this lady is looking for is absolute security, knowing that she's going to be able to create that pension, so to speak,
Right.
that money that's going to come to her every single month, Coach. Every single month it's going to land in her checking account, even have the taxes taken out for it, because it is an IRA money.
Now, you and I are not negative people, but we have to do this every single example we do. We have to show you, what if you moved your money over into our place here, the example we're showing, and every single day for the rest of your life, for the next 30, 40, 50 years, there was not one single up market. It was down, 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 down. Now, the chances of that happening are slim to none, but it still could. Right? So we have to show you everything. So if the market went down, 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 she would not get any return whatsoever. She would get a zero, though. Now, if you had the money still in the red bucket, she would probably run out of money. She would have a zero there, too. She would have lost all her money because she would have been sharing in the gain of the market, which was a zero or negative 30 or negative 40 or negative 50. So what would she have if she put the money in here and only got zeros? What can you show us for that?
What would she get on that? Well, she would get...
And did she start taking income right away? Or when
She's going to take income right away.
Right away. All right. So
right
she
away.
put the money in and starts taking income right away.
You know what's cool about this?
What's that?
Okay. The average advisor out there, they're going to ask her to take only, what, 4% out, right?
Well, we heard about the 4% rule on Wall Street, which says that about only 92% of people are successful taking 4% of their money out. The other 8% or so people run out of money before they run out of life. Greg, is that our goal, is to have people run out of money when they're still here?
Well, I'm not going to...
No, we need to always make sure you have more than enough income, and then we need to make sure that your spouse gets that same income, and then when we pass away, we need to make sure our next of kin gets whatever's left.
And 4% is not going to help her make her income gap. Here's what this company is going to do.
Okay.
They're going to give her money at a rate of 6.65%, guaranteed the rest of her life. It's crazy.
We're talking about the zero, the first, Greg.
Right, no, they're going to give her 6.65% of the $500,000. So here's the thing, Coach. She's going to get annually, every year, for the rest of her life, $33,250. That's even if the market were to collapse for the rest of her life.
So could she ever run out of that money?
She'll never stop getting her income.
So she lives to be 130 years old because she still gets the income.
She'll keep getting that money.
All right, that's pretty neat.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's because if she had her money in the red bucket, like she does right now, before she puts the money in the green bucket, she'd lose her money. She wouldn't have any money. She would probably not have income after 5 or 6 years in the retirement.
It'd be gone.
Especially if the market's going down every single year, and that's what we're showing here. Now, we're not negative, are we?
No.
What if the market did something better than zero every single year, which chances are it probably will? How can we show people that? Can we go back the last 10 years and show them what the strategy did over the last 10 years, or how do you like
what
to
we're
do
going to do is we're going to go on the assumption that it's going to maintain what it's done over the past 10 years.
Okay, and what was that number?
All righty. And so what's going to happen is the amount of money she's going to get is going to go up every single year.
Yep.
The next
Increasing
year,
income then. This is assuming the market is going
assuming the market's going up.
Okay, yep.
So this increasing
income. You get
income.
to share in the gain, folks. You get to share in the gain, but you don't share in the losses. That's the magic of it. You get a zero when the market goes down. You get to share in the gain when the market goes up. It's the best of both worlds if you think about it.
Exactly. And so the next year, she's going to get $34,673.
All right, a little bit of increasing income there. All right, what year did you decide she was going to pass away in your example?
Well, I have her 95 years old.
The Grim Reaper. That's about, 25 years from when she started?
Yep.
What's the average life expectancy right now for a female?
Around 80 years old.
80?
78 to 80 is the average lifespan.
We're going to show her living longer.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, she could live to be 120, 130, 140. The income would still come to her. She'd never run out of it. But, all right, this example, she passed away at age 95 after having it 25 years. How much money did she take in that 25 years?
I need a lot of ink here. $1,000,000.
That's why I had you switch pens.
$462,819.
And she started with $500,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then, all right, so then she passes away. Is there any money left in her account right then when she passes away?
At the age of 95, no. There's no legacy. However, The thing is, Coach, let's say she
Well, she
passed
didn't
away.
really need one, I guess, right? In this
Yeah,
example,
2 years into it.
She had 3 times what she started with as far as income, basically, but she could have continued to get that same income forever.
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Anything you want to add to this?
Just that every year, as long as the market goes up, she just keeps on getting money, keeps on getting money, and when she runs out of money,
All right, let's say the
it's
market
perfect.
doesn't go up. She still gets money. She just doesn't get increasing money.
Let's say it was here, and then the market stopped going up.
Yeah,
she
so
keeps
still
getting
gets
at
that.
34,000.
So whatever your balance, whatever the income is the year before, when the market did have a positive return, the next year the market has a negative return, so you get a 0.
Yeah.
You still get the amount you got the year before.
By the way, Coach, according to this, if she tops out before she runs out of money, she'll be getting $62,000.
When you say tops out, what do you, is that would
the
be
most
what?
she'll ever get.
Okay, $62,000.
$62,156.
And she started with $33,000 as income, so she almost
Dang near
doubled
doubled.
that income with no risk. See, folks, that's the magic here. We're not talking about pie in the sky. We're not talking about, hey, you got to invest in crypto or bet on the racehorse that's the underdog. No, we're saying do the safest strategy that we like out here. We're independent, so we'll go search around all the different financial institutions and insurance companies and find the best fits what you and your family are looking for. And I really like this. This would get my stamp of approval all day long, because even at the 0 scenario, she's still making money. But if we have an increasing market, she's going to share in that gain, and she's going to be very happy. So, folks, if you like this example, make sure to like it here on the screen. If you want to have one customized for you and your family, which, Greg, why wouldn't somebody want to have this in writing? Folks, will show you what your own numbers would look like based on your true ages and your true money. These are hypotheticals we do here because we don't know what people have. So we take guesses by reaching in our jar, reaching in our hat, and drawing numbers out. We can do a customized example for you and your family to see where you are right now and see how soon you can retire with that income that you can't outlive. Very, very important, isn't it, Greg?
Oh, man, complete.
So, folks, we'll see you next time right here on Annuity Avenue. Thanks, Greg.
The 4 buckets of tax classification are an important concept to consider in financial planning. These buckets help you understand how different types of income are taxed, which is crucial when planning for retirement or optimizing your investments. It's essential to understand why knowing the tax implications of each bucket matters when you're planning for retirement or making investment decisions. The tax treatment of your income can significantly affect your net returns and retirement security.
We have taxable bucket. That's paycheck bucket. You earn money, you have to pay tax on it. Then we have tax deferred. That's when you earn your paycheck and in your employer, maybe sometimes, or maybe you go down to the bank, you buy an IRA or you get a 401k with your employer, you can put the money into your account before taxes. That's where you're deferring the taxes. You're going to have to pay the taxes down the road. The big problem I have here is, yes, you get a nice little deferral. You don't have to pay tax on whatever money you put in an IRA or 401k at that time. But when you take the money out, not only do you have to pay tax on what you put into the 401k or IRA, you also have to pay tax on the gain. That's an invisible tax, and that's a tax time bomb, because we have no idea. If you have a great gain, you have a great amount of taxes. That's not fun, is it? So those are the 2 buckets here when we talk about paycheck. Then we have a tax-free bucket. That's if your employer, a lot of times, they'll offer you a Roth IRA option. So the Roth IRA, you can put the money into Roth, but you can't deduct it from your tax return. In other words, if you put $3,000 into a regular IRA, you could deduct your taxable income by $3,000. So $60,000 salary down to $57,000 salary for tax purposes. But if you put that money in a Roth, the $60,000 salary, you still owe $60,000. You still have to pay tax on $60,000. But the beauty of the Roth is now it builds and builds and builds, and when you take the money out, you don't pay tax on any of it. Not the money you put in and not the gain. So big thing. So putting money into that Roth IRA is sort of like being a farmer and you're sitting on your farm one day and you see a big IRS vehicle, one of those black SUVs, the big government employees get out, 4 of them get out with their sunglasses on, look like Will Smith should be a Men in Black kind of guys. And they say, we're from the IRS. We're going to give you an offer that you have to decide today. We're going to honor it forever. We're either going to tax you on the seeds you're putting in the ground today, and we're never going to come back at harvest time. Year after year, we're not going to appear. We're never going to tax you on the harvest. Or there's 3 main benefits: tax-free income, tax-free death, but most importantly, tax-free long-term care. You can use some of your death benefit. Let's say you have $1 million policy, and you have to go to a nursing home. You need $80,000. You call the life insurance company, say, I would like to take $80,000 out of my $1 million death benefit. Please send it to me. Don't tax it because it's tax-free, and I'm going to use that to pay for my nursing home. Folks, you don't need a long-term care policy anymore if you have these specialized tax-free ×2 accounts. Learn about it, if nothing else.
You and your financial advisor should be exploring how diversifying across these 4 tax buckets can impact your overall financial strategy. Spreading your assets among different tax treatments can help manage risk and potentially improve your long-term outcomes.
Knowing the 4 tax buckets is important. Diversifying amongst them, using them in other words, very important. So we're all going to have to pay taxes. So we're going to use that tax bucket. Some money's going to have to pay tax on it. You want to pay tax because you don't want to end up in tax court or tax jail. All right. So then the IRA option will help you build up an IRA. That's a retirement account. So that's money for your retirement. Now, the Roth option there, the tax-free Roth option, gives you a tax-free retirement income to go along with your taxable income. Now, we help people. This is called tax harvesting. We decide where to take the money out in retirement to have the less taxable options for you. So you're going to have to pay tax. And then we say, well, gosh, you just retired. You've got this great amount in your IRA. We can give you a monthly or yearly income from this IRA. The only problem is you're going to pay tax on it. But we could go over to the Roth account and we can start taking money out of that account and not pay tax. But the dilemma is, maybe we should leave that account alone and let it continue to build, because it's building tax-free. The IRS wants you to take money out of the Roth as soon as possible. Now, the tax-free ×2, which is life insurance, what that does is helps you with your overall estate plan and your legacy plan and your long-term care plan. So all these 4 buckets together give you the total financial plan and keeps retirement worry-free forever, not only for you, but your spouse and your next of kin who will inherit a tax-free windfall. You've had a great life. Your goal was to make sure your kids and grandkids were fine after you. You did, but you want to make sure you had a great life, so we call it a spend and leave plan. You start with a certain amount of money in a lump sum in all these 4 accounts, and the goal is for you to have a great life and your spouse to have a great life, but when you pass away, an amount equal to or greater than you started with will pass on to your children and grandchildren tax-free. That's using true diversification, not only in the market, but in the tax code.
Understanding these tax buckets is a key element in crafting a smart, tax-efficient strategy for your retirement and investments. If you're looking for tailored advice on managing your tax strategy and enhancing your financial plan, our team is here to help. Coach Pete and the team at Capital Financial are ready to offer tips and strategies to get you where you want to be in retirement. Take advantage of the no-cost, no-obligation financial review to understand the ins and outs of your retirement plan. A customized plan based on your wants and needs. Contact us today. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more retirement help.
Invest in these meme coins unless you have a strategy to get in and get out real quick. Don't sit around when it goes up a little bit with your calculator saying, well, if it goes up to this amount, I'm going to be a multi-trillionaire.
Yes.
Of course, it's never going to get there and you're going to lose all your money. So if you've doubled your initial investment, sell half of what you put in, and now you're playing with the bookies money, we call it, because you've got all the money you invested back.
There you go.
Well, a whole lot easier to hold something long-term, Bruce, when it's not really costing you.
What can happen if you miss a required minimum distribution? If you know the answer to this question, you could receive a free copy in the mail of one of Coach Pete D'Arruda's latest best-selling books. Isn't that right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. We've got 2 books. Now, my newest book is Tax Savvy Retirement. It's over 200 pages of how to put you in control of the tax man before, during, and after retirement. And the big book on retirement, over 300 pages, diagramming how to get to and through retirement in the best possible position. So you'll get your choice of one of these 2 books if you answer the trivia question correctly. And Thomas, it's a multiple choice question too.
It is. All right, here are your options. What can happen if you miss an RMD? A, you get bonus interest. B, you have a 50% penalty. C, you get a Roth conversion. Or D, a tax-free withdrawal. There are some of these that you may wish it was, and there are some of these that it actually is. Let's do this.
Yeah, so all you have to do is give us your answer. You see the way to do that is to call the number you see on the screen or text, and we will give the correct winners their choice of the books.
You know, I tell people all the time, you're not getting any younger. You don't get to take any of it with you.
Right.
And if you think about that, it means you are supposed to spend money. But there's a lot of people who can't go into their assets to spend. They just, because, well, what if I need it? What if I live too long? What if, and so then they end up living this suboptimal retirement. And if they can get these streams of income that they can feel confident in spending, they can actually have a better retirement.
Yeah, we call it a financial fill-up strategy. And if you remember back in the day, you'd go to the gas station, you'd go to the pump, and you go over a thing, it would go ding, ding. And they would run out. Back in the day, they'd run out and they'd change the oil, they'd check the oil for you, they'd clean the windshields, and they'd fill your car up. Why can't we have that in retirement? Why can't we pull into us or have it automatically sent to us a check every year? Have that financial fill-up strategy put you in financial cruise control.
Welcome into our series on the Big Book on Retirement. Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here with you alongside Coach Pete Deruta, President, Founding Principal of Capital Financial, America's Wealth, Financial and Income Coach. And one other thing, among many things I'm leaving off the table, the author of the book that we're discussing right now.
Yeah. Big Book on Retirement.
The Big Book on Retirement. Yeah. So we are looking at devising a playbook in Chapter 3, Coach. So we've talked about picking the right coach and just making sure that we know what's going on when it comes to rules. But what about this playbook?
A playbook is another word for a plan.
Okay.
And so we have a financial playbook for all our clients. They know exactly what kind of income they can get. We know ahead of time what they're going to want to do in retirement a lot of times, and then we can put a price to that.
Yeah.
And so then we can make a playbook. So when you get to a certain age of retirement, you're going to retire, and then you can be able to start playing. So it really is a playbook, isn't it?
I like that, yeah.
But it's. I've seen so many people who didn't have a playbook hit retirement and had no clue how much they could spend without worrying about outliving money.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have any fun because they were worried about spending too much, but they could have spent a whole lot more if they just had that simple playbook put together. So if you don't have a playbook, now's a good time to do it.
It absolutely is. And this playbook carries so many aspects. I mean, I was just flipping through the chapter here a little bit. It goes into long-term care planning and healthcare planning, mitigating wills and trusts, and all the different elements. It all goes into the book, doesn't it? The plan.
If you don't have a will or trust, you really need to get one. I've had some deaths in my family. My wife has as well. We've had people die, relatives way far away from us on my wife's side died without a will, and that was a big process, put it that way.
Yeah.
And so get a trust or will. If you move to a different state and you already have a will or trust, make sure you get it updated to the state you're in. We have a special program we use for our clients. When you move, we just update the state. It automatically updates your estate planning documents. So you don't have to worry about paying an attorney. It's already done it for you.
Wow.
You may have to get them re-notarized. That's easy. You don't have to pay another attorney over and over again, so that's good.
There you go.
Long-term care, big issue. A lot of folks are saying, gosh, I can't afford a long-term care policy, or I've heard so many bad things about long-term care policies.
Yep.
Then the life insurance industry about 5 years ago stepped up, and now they give you the ability to reach into your life insurance death benefit while you're still living and have that money pay for your long-term care. So let's say you have a $1 million life insurance policy, and you have to go to a long-term care facility, you need $100,000 for that for 1 year.
Yeah.
You call the life insurance company up and say, hey, I've got to go to a long-term care facility. I need $100,000 out of my death benefit of $1 million. Send it to me, and they do tax-free.
Wow.
So you could technically do that 10 years, $100,000 a year. Your insurance will be gone, but it's served its purpose. It's helped you. And life insurance used to be for when you die. Now it's for the living. So if you haven't had that explained, or if you have a life insurance policy that doesn't have that in there, sometimes it's more affordable to get the new policy with the long-term care than it is to have the current policy. So let's get a review of that and make sure you're in control. What we've always done for 32 years, I put my clients in control of the money world instead of paying attention or not having to worry about paying attention or being beholden to whatever the money world says. Now you are paying attention without even having to, because you got Coach Pete looking out for you.
Yes.
Putting you in control of the money world. So that's what the whole chapter is about. The whole book is about too. But it's all about our premise about meeting with us so we put you in control instead of you being in the back seat. Now you're in the front seat.
Exactly.
So call and get your free review, folks.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, folks. Call, text, however you'd like to connect with us. You see the options there on the screen. We'd be honored to sit down with you. Coach, you have an amazing team of fiduciary planners.
Put everything
here
in writing too, folks. There's no surprises because everything is in writing.
It's true.
Very,
It's
very
true.
important, by the way.
It's true. Folks, this has been Chapter 3. Stay tuned. Chapter 4 is right around the corner.
Thomas, what do we do on our show?
We define our terms.
Yes. What is CES?
Oh, please don't. Joe, can you help me?
Consumer Electronics Show, Thomas.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Consumer Electronics Show, where they show all the neat stuff that's coming up that you can't afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, how was the event? Was it worthwhile attending?
The event was eye-opening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Saw a lot of cool stuff. I mean, just like you said, stuff that's not available yet but is coming. And got to play with a few gadgets, and some of the things. And of course, I won't get into it just yet. But some of the stuff that I just walked out of the SEC or CES show and said, you know what? I understand AI now much better.
Yeah, right now it's just basically a Google on steroids.
Yeah,
is what AI is for most people. But what do you see AI becoming here in the next, let's say, 5 years and a decade?
Well, I see it really being a game changer. When you look back at the internet, and when the internet came out, it gave such usability. It gave companies a way to scale, and you see companies today coming online. I kind of like to look at it like Starbucks. Those are what I call atom companies. Those are companies that have to have thousands of stores to service millions of customers, right? Mm-hmm. Well, today, AI, you're able to deploy very, very sophisticated software using a cloud base, and companies are able to scale like nothing you've ever seen. I mean, they can go to these billion-dollar valuations literally in a very, very short period of time. And just to hear about what AI is becoming and what it is, it just opened my eyes. This year was fantastic.
So when you're a startup company, one of the main problems is finding enough people to help you get to become a big company. So I think AI can eliminate that need for a lot of employees, can it?
Absolutely. And when you look at what AI's the trajectory of AI, and of course I'm guilty of just using it for, like you said, Google on steroids, going to ChatGPT and asking, can you reword this letter for me? And that's just the way I've used it, but there's so much more application when it comes to AI.
So who are the big who had the biggest booth there at the CES?
I would say NVIDIA probably had the biggest display. They had all of their robots and cars, and probably the most interesting thing that I saw, which I saw a lot of interesting things, was the Tensor. I don't know if you've heard of that name before, but Tensor has a robocar that you're going to be able to buy, and this is an autonomous agentech type of AI that basically the steering wheel disappears, the foot pedals disappear, and this thing takes you to where you're going. And it was absolutely mind-boggling to watch this. It was just like out of a sci-fi movie. It was crazy.
So do you get in the car and you see the steering wheel and the gas pedals and they disappear in front of you, or you mean they're not even there to begin with?
No, they're there. You can drive.
Oh.
But then when the car takes over, the steering wheel pulls into the dashboard, a screen goes over, the pedals disappear into the floor. And that way the driver you can't do anything. You just sit back and enjoy.
Keeps user error from happening.
That reminds me of the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, and the police were coming after him, and the whole car basically could shut itself down.
Yeah, exactly it, right.
Did they have rides available in that car, or was it just a display?
They had it displayed in the Fontainebleau Hotel, and I'm sure at some point, certain folks probably could take a test ride, but it wasn't there for me to do the test ride. I'd love to have done it, but it was in the hotel. You could get in it. You could check it all out. It was amazing.
Yeah. Now, NVIDIA had probably a big display too, right? Because they're a big AI company with the chips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had, some of their servers out there. They had some of their robots. They had some video of futuristic goals that they're pressing toward, and just a huge display.
What really surprised you, like you weren't expecting to see at CES this year?
Obviously AI was going to be there, no doubt.
Yep.
But probably the thing that it wasn't, so I guess it wasn't so much of what I saw, it was the impression that I took away. And it was like embracing AI as more of a platform that you put in your business, that you put to work in your life. That was probably the greatest thing that I took away. Probably the coolest things that I saw was the robocar. That was off the chart. lot of the smart glasses. I don't know if you've ever tried those, but the smart glasses, especially if I was a retiree, I'm 52. The smart glasses is going to be a game changer. If I was a retiree, 60, 65, I tell you right now, I would 100% get these smart glasses because they're freaking amazing. I don't know if you've ever tried any.
I bought them twice and never used them. Right? I got the first generation, and then I just got this. I didn't buy the second one. I got it as a gift on Christmas time, but I haven't ever used them. But I have seen online there are some non-name brand smart glasses. You get these ads on Facebook all the time. One would translate for you. One would tape every single minute of your day, just in case you forgot what was going on. Which again is good for people as we get older. We forget things.
Yeah,
so you can't say you don't remember anymore.
You just look at it through the glasses and say, hey, remind me of what this looks like. I was going to say another thing I saw that was good because I brush my teeth. I know it's kind of corny, but I brush my teeth, I floss, but I hate doing it. But I still do it 2 times a day. And they had toothbrushes there that you were able to brush and floss at the same time. And so it was made by a company, SpeakEasy, I believe, SOCCAS, and check that out if you ever get a chance. It was really cool.
Now, that's pretty funny because, I mean, in order to, because there's a gap between your teeth, that's where the floss has to go. So how does it know that? Does it have a camera built into the toothbrush?
Well, it has a water spout
like a water
on
jet?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like nanobots going in and just doing their job for a few seconds.
Now, speaking of bots, what kind of personal robots did you see?
Well, they had robots folding clothes. They had them moving dishes around in the kitchens, and so a lot of homemaking type robots that I found very cool because most of the ones you see are the ones that's sweeping up the floor. And the little black thing running around, but
we have a couple of those here. We have a couple of those here. I think of when you talk about folding clothes, I think about the Jetsons. Rosie. Yeah. Rosie was a little maid robot, and so one thing I hate doing is laundry, but I do my own laundry, and I really hate folding. So I would buy a robot today if they would get promised to fold my clothes, then hang them.
Well, it was a little slow. But I could see over some time that the technology is really, really going to emerge. Now, I met the new owner of Napster while I was there, and Napster, you remember from the 90s.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yep.
This guy, he bought the Napster company, and he now that program now you can use it for like young artists. Any artist could use it. And basically, it will take your music that you're making and license it. I mean, it does the whole thing for you. It's something you probably should check out at some time.
Thomas wanted to ask about the TVs.
Yeah. So I saw an announcement that, and I'm not sure the brand, it might have been LG, but they did a wallpaper television that was less than a centimeter thin. Did you see that there?
Yes, that was really cool. I took a bunch of pictures, got some info, and that's something that I'm very interested in purchasing.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
The technology there.
And there were several different brands there. They had some from China, some various places. But yeah, your major TV brands were there. They had their displays. But the TV, I mean, that screen was super. I mean, you could literally glue it to the wall. It's crazy.
So how big was this? Did they have it in the convention center and then already spread out to different hotels, or they have it all over different hotels?
That was a little overwhelming. You had several of the convention halls set up, and then they had 5 of the major hotels that they had speakers and panelists off and on all day long. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to some of the panelists talk and just hearing some of the techie guys and some like Hollywood producers and CEOs. Just hearing them all collaborate together was very powerful, and it was.
Well, Hollywood's not going to have these gigantic scenes anymore. They're not going to have to pay a whole bunch of people. They'll just have it all in CGI. Well, something more advanced in CGI, but they'll be able to do it all on a computer. Sort of like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones did a lot of that, by the way. Too. Yeah, they did a lot of graphics added on.
One of the gentlemen from Warner Brothers, he was talking about that. He I don't know if you know this yet, but they're coming out with a Barbie 2. That's what he said, that they're making the Barbie 2 movie, and it's going to have some of these effects and all this stuff in, and it's going to be really, really good.
Pretty amazing. Now tell folks. I mean, you're not just a normal person that's going to CES. You've got a pretty big tech background. Where'd you go to college?
Well, I went to Ohio State and I've attended MIT, and I love tech. I love digging into the stuff, and just I'm the guy that wants to know how the watch works.
Now, you said Ohio State. Usually when someone says Ohio State, they say the Ohio State.
The Ohio State, yeah. Yeah.
Thomas, you've heard that before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you watch any football game when the guys announce where they're from. Go, the Ohio State. So, which I've been to Columbus. It's a nice place. I mean, I've been to Notre Dame too. Those are like nice college towns.
Yeah, I had a Subway store not far from campus there on 23. And it was the #1 Subway store in Columbus because of the college. And
there you go.
It's good old days back then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, you were looking at a lot of things there, and I'm sure because you're a big investor too. You like to invest in stocks and play the market the right way. Do you see any? Did you notice any maybe small companies that no one's ever heard of that you might think are ready to explode, with the products they have?
The one thing that I'm looking for when I'm looking for these types of investments, I'm looking for people that have big vision and then that are looking to be a disruptor. You take Elon Musk, his goal is to colonize Mars. I mean, that's just like way up there. And, these companies, fortunately, when you aim high, that you might not hit the stars, but you're going to get into the atmosphere of space, and that's what, when you're looking at these companies, seeing the technology and hearing their ambitions, do they have an open architecture that you could see this company really making some waves?
I would say a recent example of that is NVIDIA. We just had a clip on our show recently where the president was talking about, because we provide the chips to everybody, they're that foundational structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's important to get those kind of companies, but then also the ones that no one's heard of yet, and then all of a sudden everyone hears about, but it's too late to get in almost.
So true. So true.
It's the meteoric rise, they call it. So what was your favorite interactive display? Because, a lot of these companies spend millions sometimes on their displays.
Well, one of the displays that really caught my attention was they had a display there where they had an omnidirectional treadmill. And there was a guy that was in the VR suit, and basically he was in Ready Player One total. I mean, he had the whole getup, and they had a bunch of demonstrations going on, lots of people in those suits, and I was watching what they were seeing in the TV, and I thought, oh my God, gaming is coming it has came a long way, and this is the evolution of the gaming industry right here.
When you think about gaming growing up, it was the fat kid that would just sit inside and play and sit in front of the TV. But now you have interactive gaming where you can get in shape by playing games. And that makes sense. I told Thomas, and Jose, you probably heard this too. Back in the day, I played a game called Halo.
Oh, yeah.
Halo was on, I had the Xbox back then.
Me
and
too.
my rule back then, and my bedroom was underneath my workout room, so my wife would hear me because I'd start playing the game like at 12 at night and go all the way. But my rule was I had to ride the exercise bike while I was playing Halo.
Nice.
So it's funny.
Nice.
So when I started being chased, I would pedal faster, even though it had nothing to do with the game. But I was in really good shape, so I made myself work out to play the game. But now you're going to have to work out to play the games, because if not, you're going to get killed too easy on the game.
One thing that did stand out too, that I don't know, I just never had thought of this, but listening to a lot of the CEOs of these different companies speak, and some of the producers at Hollywood, they are bringing influencers out now and allowing them to stream from the TV set. They're bringing them into these companies and allowing them to stream to their audiences. And that's how these movies, they clearly said it, that's how these movies go through these huge ticket sales prior, as the movie's coming out, because they let these streamers are coming in, and I thought that was very, very interesting.
You have to build the excitement, because back in the day, they would wait maybe 6 months before a movie would come out. You started hearing about it, then you started seeing advertisements on TV, but it would be like a 6-month runway into the movie. Nowadays, the movies don't even go to this theater a lot of times. They come right to Netflix or Amazon or something like that. So everything's changing, and influencers are becoming a big part of that.
Oh, big part. I was very impressed with that. One word I'll drop in there for you is agentic. AI. It's something that you probably want to get to know better. That's going to probably be a $1 trillion industry before you know it, and that's something to really, explore. Find companies that are focused on agentic type of AI. That's going to be your autonomous type AI, and that's going to be the big thing here down the road.
So AI without you having to be around, I guess.
That's
right?
exactly
without you
it.
having to pilot it. Okay.
The self-driving car, for example, would be agentic AI.
Okay. What about, that's what we always hear about, self-driving car. What else could we, what other, you think it'd be self-driving planes down the road?
Oh, boy.
You get on a plane, there's no pilot up there?
I'm sure that'll eventually be the case. I don't want to be that first few guys that get in there and,
Anything else that excited you during the show?
I just, going through and just seeing the technology, seeing the massage chairs, that was pretty exciting because now they've got them where they'll stretch your whole body out, and so that was pretty nice. Really, just being overwhelmed is probably the word. You can only see so many things before your brain's like, "Ugh."
Oh yeah.
But there was so many cool things. There was a couple. I'll tell you something that I saw that was really interesting, and you may have seen these before, and you may not. They had crafts there that are full size, and you can put 1 or 2 people in and fly them around. It's a giant drone that you can fly your body around in. Like I could get in, I could buy this thing, get in it here at my house, and fly on the other side of town to my buddy's house. And
that would come in handy in New York City where they have a lot of traffic, wouldn't it? You just fly over the traffic.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. When I was looking, I was like, wow, either I'm behind on my knowledge here or this is new. And so
do you get in it like I remember Orville and Wilbur Wright? They would get in there like
pretty much.
Like Superman. Is that what you need? Is it big enough? It's a big drone then. It's
a big drone. It's got big blades on it, and I'm sure it has some limitations, but you can literally get in this thing and fly over to your buddy's house.
Got to make sure you don't cut somebody's head off with those blades too, right?
Oh yeah, Them blades were no joke. They were huge.
What is it? Battery powered, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, did it have new battery technology coming out? Did you see anything like that? Because that's always a big thing. Sodium batteries.
I didn't see very much on that. I'm sure it was there because obviously the battery is powering all of our stuff. We want better and better. Jackery had some great solar batteries there. They had a huge gazebo design that you can buy and put in your backyard. At the same time, it's a whole charging station. So that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool,
yeah.
So, how did they have the show? I know you said it was spread out all amongst a bunch of different hotels and the conference, whatever they call it, the convention center. How did they have the booths divided? Did they have them in different sections? Like you went to Tomorrow World over here, and you went to sort of like Disney. You had different places, or
yes, they had it customized by theme, and so you could see some of the cars here. You could see some of the health and nutrition things. Oh, that's another thing I saw. I saw this one. Workout gym. It's called Monster Gym, I believe was the name of Gym Monster. That's the name of it.
Okay.
And this is the granddaddy of home fitness. It's a very small thing that you can literally fold up, but it's got the technology built into it. It's like having 200-300 pound weights that you can bench press, you can do all kinds of stuff, and this whole thing just folds out, and it was made really, really well. I was like, wow. But when you're done, you just literally fold it up, and it's like hardly
That's amazing.
anything.
So what innovation made you say, why hasn't this existed before?
I would say the drone was probably that. I was like, wow, I'm surprised it's kind of taken this long because drones has been out for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
And and again, I may just be behind in that area, but when I saw that, I was just like, wow. The gaming, I'll tell you, the gaming came a long, long way. Just seeing those people in the full gear, I can't remember the name of what you call that, but just seeing the folks in the VR glasses and the suits, and then watching them play the game on the TV, it was just amazing.
All right, 2 more points, and then I'll let you go. But I mean, your phone. I've always told Thomas, there's going to come a time where we're not carrying our phone around all the time. I mean, it's a burden a lot. But I have my credit cards in here too. So this is my wallet basically. But I mean, is there going to come a time where you don't have to have a phone, but you can still have all the functionality you have with the phone right now?
I think so. I think eventually you're going to have some type of futuristic device that, whether that's a band you put around your wrist, and it has a small projection that when you hit the button, it kind of pops up, and you got everything kind of almost in the air. I did see a phone there, though, that was really, really amazing. It was a very, very thin phone that it was like a trifold. It folded out, and it was the size of an iPad. And it was big, but then when you folded it back up, it was basically like this iPhone I got right here. That was really interesting. Samsung, it was one of their brands, and it was pretty much brand new. So eventually you'll probably see that hit the market at some point.
Because all these companies are trying to come out with the thing that replaces the phone, right? So but I guess it's a ways down the road. Now, if this wasn't your first trade show, you've been to CES before, right? How do you compare this to others?
Well, it'd been a while since I had been, and this one just it seemed to have a lot more action. You just saw a lot more people. There were a lot more gadgets, and just I think the thing that I believe really made the difference was the panelists that they had pulled together, and I'm sure they're going to keep doing this more and more in the future, and that was really impressive.
So did you go to some of the speeches?
Yeah, it was like I went to a conference. I went to a conference and I went to a trade show.
What was your favorite speaker? Who was your favorite speaker?
It was a panelist that basically was speaking on the future of the coaching and digital marketing industry, and it was a combination of you had a guy there from Twitch. You had a guy. One of them was a Hollywood producer. Substack had a big presence there. I don't know if you know what Substack is. It's like YouTube, except you own your own stuff. And so that was probably the some of the highlight of the speaking and panelist. Yeah.
I've told my staff we need to have a Substack page, but it never happens.
Yeah,
so I guess I'm going to do it again. Thomas is getting worried. I see him over there.
I was very impressed. The owner of Substack was there, and he was talking about where they're at, where they're going, and just how they work with the people that's on their site. So definitely check that out.
So you say this year's like just more bigger, more faster, more better. Yeah. It sounds like just everything that the excitement level seems to be higher.
I think the excitement level was super high because AI was just everywhere.
And if you could just put yourself back in those couple days, you were there for 2 or 3 days probably. What was the most exciting moment that you had? Where you just felt excited about the future?
Oh, that's when I won. I pulled the handle, and all of a sudden, this big thing started flashing. It said I won.
Oh yeah, How much did you win? How much did you win? You win a lot.
Well, I'd say
for IRS purposes, we'll keep it under 10,000.
Yeah, we'll keep it under 10,000. But I would say probably the biggest thing was leaving the show. I felt like I had a new perspective on what AI is really going to become down the road. And it got me really fired up. I'm thinking about going back and taking some classes at MIT on Agentech and on some of that AI so that I can better incorporate it into my business and so forth. So very excited about it.
Well, here's one thing I just forgot. I said it was my last question, but I got one more here. But blockchain, we've heard so much about blockchain over the years. Yeah. Were there any blockchain type companies there showing you what the future is going to be in blockchain?
Yes. There was some. My favorite restaurants. Believe it or not, it was just Gordon Ramsay's Burger Bar at the Planet Hollywood.
I've heard good things about that, actually. He's got some of his other places, like Hell's Kitchen is good, but it's expensive and it's a long wait. But the Burger Bar is good. The best steakhouse I've ever been to there is the Golden Steer.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Steer.
Yeah,
it's featured in the movie Casino. It's one of the old-timey ones, but it's one of the best steaks ever. So just keep that in mind. You've probably been there before.
Yeah.
All right. His name is Joe Casey, and he's one of the guys that I like to talk to when we talk about tech and also investing. Joe, thanks for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Coach Pete. Love it. Look forward to seeing you again soon and hanging out with you anytime, man. Call me anytime.
Hey, if people wanted to contact you, how could they do that?
They could simply just go to catalystwealthcoaching.com and you'll find all my information right there.